Welcome to the Quick Lane Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania, and welcome to Detroit, the home of the NFC North champions, the Detroit Lions at Ford Field. When this bowl assignment went out, Bowling Green was reminded of their players' best day, 2021. They beat Minnesota, one of the worst days of the lives of some of the fans and some of the players associated with Minnesota. Now they meet up 2 years later in the Quick Lane Bowl. We are glad you're with us. Happy holidays with Dustin Fox, Connor Runyon, Tori Petrie downstairs here shortly. Holiday season, it's about goofy sweaters.
Come on.
It's about giving. It's about joy. It's about a lot of positive things. A little bit deeper of an emotion when it comes to mind for the Minnesota Gophers. It's about revenge today.
It is. You know, that loss 2 years ago, PJ Fleck, probably the worst loss of his career. It is the holiday season. He doesn't want coal in his stocking today.
No, he sure doesn't. But they've got to deal with a lot of outside talent for Bowling Green, starting with Harold Fannin, really, really good tight end.
Oh, goodness. They've got talent all over the field. And this young man, this tight end, does it all for this offense. You'll see number 44 out of the backfield. You'll see him make catches. He had 100 yards in their final game against Western Michigan to end the season. In fact, he can throw the football too. Coach told us he may throw a couple passes. He's got a cannon, could throw it 80 yards. And then the other wide receiver we'll see as well is O.J. Hilaire. They call him that because he's got the juice. He's got all the speed on the outside, been a little bit banged up this year, but if they can find a way to get the football in his hands, it could be a big day for the Falcon offense.
Well, it's been a lifetime of waiting for the quarterback today from Minnesota, Cole Kramer, making his first start.
What an amazing story. First start for him. And oh, by the way, this will be his last start. Tori's going to have a lot.
Getting the call for this game today from Coach PJ Fleck, he was a little bit hesitant. He was already planning to kind of move on in life to wedding planning for his wedding in February to Katie. They were moving to Arizona, still are, but that was the plan. And then he got the call that he was going to be able to play in this game. He was a little hesitant. He called Katie. Katie was in the middle of her shift as a nurse. She thought something was wrong, getting an emergency call from her fiance at work, but turns out he was telling her about this opportunity, and she could not be more thrilled about it. Yes, it means a little bit more work for her in the wedding planning process, but she says, hey, it is way more worth it to be able to do this. It took Cole a little bit of time to come around on changing plans, but he did thanks to Katie's encouragement. And you know what PJ Fleck had to say about it? He said, Cole is going to get a real nice wedding gift from me.
And just what a story. I mean, goodness, this guy in 20 years from now will never forget this moment.
No, he won't. And here's the thing: the wedding's still 40 days away. There's
enough time. You can put together a wedding in a month. Come on.
That's right. The invitations are already out. Well, Bowling Green gets the ball first after Minnesota won the toss and deferred. So we get our first look at Connor Bazelak, who's playing in his first bowl game as the starting quarterback at Bowling Green.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Bowling Green will run a two-quarterback offense, and they're very comfortable with it. And it's kind of interesting for Scott Leffler, quarterback by trade, typically doesn't have two quarterbacks.
And Bazelak throwing on the first play of the game, and it's complete to Odu Hilaire, the guy you talked about off of the open, a dynamic pass catcher.
Yeah, what a tremendous story he is, too. The transfer from Alabama A&M, playing in his final game as you take a look at Connor and what he's done this season. And the numbers aren't gaudy, mostly because he splits time with Camden Orth, who we're going to see in here as well.
Bazelak, more of the true drop-back passer. Orth can do a little bit of both, including the run game. Here's Bazelak in the run game, and on the pitch, he sends it down the sideline with Jamal Johnson for a first down.
And that's going to be an interesting story we talk about throughout this game. Teron Keith is in the portal. Terrion Stewart's hurt. So you've got two new backs that are going to be playing this game, including Johnson and Patterson. And right there you see Jamal Johnson showing that speed on the outside.
He's more of the replacement for Teron Keith, who's in the portal. The pass catcher, they can flip it to him. They can run the option with him. So you'll see Johnson in a lot of Teron Keith-like roles today. After the gain of 17, back-to-back first downs for Bazelak and the Falcons. His second throw, he's taking a shot. He's got Hilaire! And Odu Hilaire with a touchdown!
Talk about taking a shot early in this ball game. The Falcons go right down the field. Hilaire with two big catches, and that's just his fourth touchdown reception of the season.
Well, a guy that's been struggling to get his legs underneath him. He's been banged up. He's become more of an underneath and intermediate threat, but the legs look fresh against PJ Fleck's secondary for a 46-yard touchdown.
Play number 5, and it'll be interesting to see how this defense of the Gophers responds, because they're without their defensive coordinator Joe Rossi, who left the program to go to Michigan State. As we take a look at Colt Kramer, going to have his first collegiate start. The guy has only thrown 1 pass in his career. In the 5-year career he's been in Minnesota, that 1 pass, by the way, an interception.
It was earlier this year against North Carolina. And on his first play from scrimmage, a toss to Darius Taylor, who's back in Detroit. A breakout star before injuries this year, in front of friends and family today with a first down.
And he's sort of the hometown hero here. I bet he's got about 65 tickets here at Ford Field. Has not played since Iowa. Suffered the injury and now has a little extra time with the bowl prep to get ready, and pretty explosive there on first down.
He's from a Detroit suburb about 20 minutes northwest of here. Walled Lake Western is where Minnesota got him from. And Kramer pitches it out for his first pass, and out to Daniel Jackson through a couple of tackles. And there goes the most exciting guy on this Minnesota offense for the first time, Daniel Jackson.
Yeah, don't exactly know who we're going to see on the outside. Daniel Jackson, again, one of the most exciting players. 8 touchdowns on the year, 831 yards receiving, and a just weapon for Colt Kramer. And by the way, he needs all the weapons he can have today.
Chris Autman-Bell, who is preparing for the NFL, will not play at wide receiver. Brevin Spann-Ford at tight end will also not play, also preparing for the NFL draft. The second carry for Taylor, and he is met in the hole. Chopped down from Patrick Day at safety for a gain of 1.
Boy, Day and Lorfels get in there in a hurry. 32-9. They're shot out of a cannon here and deliver the blow on Taylor. Now a big third down. And again, this is a very talented Bowling Green defense. Not a lot of people know they lead the nation with 27 takeaways.
Much improved from last year, in large part because of the guy at the bottom of your screen, 0, Cassius Howell, the most feared pass rusher in the Mid-American Conference. And inside to Kramer, but he gets it away to Taylor, who has a first down. Darius Taylor back on the field for the first time in over a month, making a big impact in the first drive.
That's a good play by Kramer. He recognizes the pressure coming off the right side. That's where you want to throw the football to. They get out leverage. Taylor catches the football in the flat, and another first down.
And now he's going to line up out of the backfield, top side. Kramer getting out of there in the Wildcat look with Darius Taylor as the Wildcat quarterback. And Taylor off of the play fake, kept his feet, and drags a guy with him for another first down. This Minnesota offense is simply different when they've got this guy in the backfield, Darius Taylor.
Yeah, they certainly have missed him. As you talked about, he has not played since Iowa. That's back October 21st. And the Gophers, they lost their final 4 games of the season. They certainly could have used this young man.
Now, all with Taylor out. When they beat Iowa, they were one of the front runners to win the Big Ten West. On the direct snap again, and he runs into Darren Anders in the middle of that Bowling Green offense, the defense.
Sort of interesting, coming into this game, I felt like this was going to be kind of a slugfest, back and forth, maybe a lot of runs, but the pace so far early, playing indoors, a lot of these guys used to playing outdoors, the midweek match, and all of a sudden now you get a little juiced up here on the turf, a much faster track.
It does kind of feel like midweek action, doesn't it?
Well, it is a Tuesday.
Playing on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Scott Loeffler and Bowling Green right at home on a Tuesday. Kramer off of the play fake, over the middle and incomplete through the hands of Jackson. Nearly picked off. And Deshaun Jones was right there. Kramer took a big shot. There's a flag down right where his throw took place, and this could be on Bowling Green on that hit. We'll see.
Passer, defense number 7 with a low hit. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Davon Ferguson. See 7 coming to your screen here off the blitz. A off the right side, and it's when he goes low. I mean, he was there a little late, and you cannot go low like that on the quarterback. And certainly, boy, if Kramer for some reason has to leave this ball game, it's not going to be pretty for this Gopher offense.
They only have one true quarterback behind him, with a couple guys transferring out. Here's Taylor, a powerful physical runner, upended inside the 20. Taylor, if he stayed healthy, he probably ends up being the Big Ten's leading rusher this season. He was leading the Big Ten when he got injured, and he still leads the Gophers in rushing after only playing 5 games in the regular season.
Yeah, he had 591 yards and 4 touchdowns coming into the game. Remember that big game he had against Northwestern earlier this year? Almost 200 yards on the ground. Really talented running back.
In one of the games the Gophers wanted back. The Wildcats with a big comeback in that game.
Huge lead in that game.
A heavy dose of Taylor back from injury on this opening drive for the Gophers, and you can see it, Dustin. It takes 2, 3, sometimes 4 guys to get him down.
Yeah, I was a little curious, coming into the game, how Taylor would be in terms of his conditioning, how he looks. Is he 100%? I would say he's 110%. He's running through dudes right now.
It was the second game of the year against a MAC team, Eastern Michigan, with a unleashed Darius Taylor for the first time. Second half of that game, they gave it to him 20+ times, went over 100 yards. And on a third down from inside the red zone for Cole Kramer, making his first career start at quarterback.
Pressure.
Off the edge, he gets it out, and that'll be short of the first down. Darius Taylor out of the backfield again. And one of the guys making a start today in place of some transfers, Jalen Burton at corner, made the stop.
Again, the pressure comes from Ferguson off the right side, the nickel, who's their top blitzer. And he's just a little short. They're going to take the kick or go for it. Kramer's going to stay out there. And remember, this is an opportunity where Kramer can use his athleticism. If you recall that 2021 game, he ran a 19-yard touchdown. It was the only touchdown in the ball game.
You remember it well.
I called it. I was at that game.
Well, Minnesota has been money on 4th down this year, 13 of 16, but they'll take a timeout.
Full time out of the field.
Before a 4th down in Detroit, we step out.